The Dodgers keep on winning, but the roster landscape is shifting yet again as former prospects Ryan Pepiot and Michael Grove find themselves in new territory with the Tampa Bay Rays. While Pepiot lands on the 60-day injured list with hip inflammation, Michael Grove has signed a major league deal only to head straight to the 15-day IL for ongoing recovery from shoulder surgery. It is a fascinating turn of events that has analysts questioning just how much magic Tampa can work on these arms.
Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 mAh power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Meanwhile, the conversation surrounding Shohei Ohtani has reached a fever pitch after his latest dominant performance on the mound. Former Rockies general manager Dan O'Dowd is calling for the Dodgers star to stop hitting entirely on his pitching days to prioritize his long-term health and delivery precision. With Ohtani looking fresher than ever while pitching, you have to wonder if the superstar will eventually entertain the idea of staying out of the batting order to preserve that lethal efficiency. Down in Queens, the New York Mets are feeling the weight of the world after a brutal series sweep at the hands of the Dodgers. It is not just the lopsided scores that have fans worried, but the alarming way the hitters are chasing pitches outside the zone, suggesting a team that is officially pressing under pressure. When hitters like Francisco Alvarez and Bo Bichette struggle to stay disciplined against a struggling reliever, it is clear the tension in the clubhouse is becoming impossible to hide. Finally, we turn to a significant legal development involving Isaac Castellanos, the Dodgers fan who was permanently blinded by an lapped projectile during the 2020 World Series celebration. A federal jury has awarded him $11.8 million, marking the end of a 6-year battle over excessive force claims. It is a story with major implications for crowd control policies that you will not want to miss. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to stay updated on all these breaking headlines. Ever get the feeling that the Dodgers are playing chess, while the rest of the league is just trying to remember the rules of checkers? We've all seen it. Trade after trade, LA just seems to come out on top. Take the Mookie Betts deal, an absolute masterclass, or the recent Jack Flaherty trade that helped pave the way to a 2024 World Series title. It's a recurring theme, and now we're seeing a new chapter in the fallout of the Tyler Glasnow deal with the Tampa Bay Rays. Think back to that trade. The Dodgers shipped out Ryan Pepiot and Johnny DeLuca to secure their ace. While DeLuca has shown some spark, both players have been plagued by the injury bug. In fact, things just took an unfortunate turn for Tampa. With Pepiot headed to the 60-day injured list with hip inflammation, the Rays needed a spot on their 40-man roster. Enter Michael Grove, a name Dodgers fans know all too well. After LA tried for years to turn Grove into a reliable arm, moving him from starter to reliever and back again, they finally parted ways in late 2025. Now, he's a Ray, but here's the kicker. He went straight to the 15-day IL to continue recovering from shoulder surgery. It's a classic project move for Tampa, a team that has a supernatural ability to fix broken arms with a few mechanical tweaks. But let's be real for a second. Even if the Rays somehow work their magic with Grove or if Pepiot becomes an all-star, the Dodgers have already cashed their chips. They traded for a championship, they won back-to-back titles, and they proved that when you prioritize winning, the prospect cost is just part of the price of admission. What do you think? Is there any way for the Rays to actually win this trade in the long run, or is the Dodgers' dominance just inevitable? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the weird world of baseball trades. Is Shohei Ohtani doing too much? We are witnessing a living legend rewrite the rules of baseball, but former Rockies GM Dan O'Dowd is raising a flag that has the entire league talking. After watching Ohtani carve up hitters on Wednesday, delivering his cleanest pitching performance of the season with 6 innings and 10 strikeouts, O'Dowd dropped a controversial take. Shohei needs to stop hitting on his pitching days. It sounds like blasphemy to suggest benching the game's greatest offensive weapon, but there is a logic here that goes beyond just stats. O'Dowd argued that Ohtani simply looked fresher, more explosive, and more locked in when he wasn't worrying about his turn in the batting order. We have to be honest. Ohtani isn't just an athlete. He is the most valuable asset in sports. Protecting him isn't about limiting his greatness, but ensuring we get to see it in October. By sitting him on those specific days, you give the roster flexibility, like letting rising talent Dalton Rushing get some reps, while keeping Ohtani's arm and body in peak condition for the long haul. And let's look at the numbers. They support the eye test. With a microscopic 0.5 ERA and nearly a strikeout per inning, he is proving that when he focuses on the mound, he is virtually untouchable. But the season is a marathon, not a sprint, and the Dodgers have a grueling stretch ahead without a single off day for 2 weeks. As he prepares to face the Giants later this month, the debate rages on. Do you play him because he is the best at everything, or do you manage him carefully to ensure he stays the best for longer? I want to know your take on this. Is it time for Ohtani to take a breather, or should we let the unicorn run wild? Smash that like button, subscribe for more daily MLB insights, and tell me in the comments. Would you trade his bat for his longevity? Remember, we aren't just watching a player, we are watching history in the making. Ever felt like you're swinging at ghosts? That is exactly the position the New York Mets found themselves in during a brutal series at Dodger Stadium, where they were swept with a painful 14-3 cumulative score. For most of the weekend, they looked completely overmatched, but Tuesday night offered a glimmer of hope. With Edwin Diaz sidelined and the Dodgers calling on Alex Vesia, a guy usually known to be hittable, the Mets, cleanup hitters, had the perfect opening to mount a comeback. But instead of seizing the moment, they absolutely folded. Vesia threw a first-pitch fastball for a strike, then proceeded to throw 9 consecutive pitches completely outside the zone. A disciplined team would have let those balls sail by and walked their way into a rally. Instead, the Mets swung at 8 of them. It was a masterclass in desperation. While StatCast can track launch angles and exit velocity, it hasn't quite figured out how to measure the white-knuckled tension of a hitter who is trying too hard. But if you want to know what pressing looks like in the big leagues, look no further than that 9th inning. When you carry the weight of a disappointing season, a high-pressure front office, and the unforgiving New York media, the strike zone starts to look like a tiny target in the distance. The Mets are clearly feeling the heat, and right now, they are swinging at anything that moves just to make the pressure stop. It is a tough watch for any fan. Do you think the Mets can shake this mental slump, or is the pressure finally breaking them? Let us know your take in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the chaos of the MLB season. Sometimes, the hardest pitch to hit is the one you invent in your own head. Imagine heading downtown to celebrate your team winning the World Series, only to have your life changed forever by the people sworn to protect you. That is exactly what happened to Isaac Castellanos, and now, nearly 6 years later, a federal jury has finally delivered a verdict, $11.8 million. But is a massive payout enough to compensate for a lost future? Back in 2020, Isaac was just 22, a student with big dreams and a serious talent for esports. He wasn't causing trouble. He was just another fan celebrating in the streets near Crypto.com Arena. But as the Lapt moved in to disperse the crowd, an officer fired a less lethal weapon, a 37mm projectile launcher, that struck Isaac square in the face, causing permanent blindness in one eye. What makes this story even more infuriating is the technical reality. These weapons are designed to be fired at the ground to ricochet into a person's lower body, but they were fired from 145 feet away. At that distance, the projectile naturally rises to eye level. It wasn't just an accident, it was a fundamental failure of protocol. Isaac's attorney, Pedram Esfandari, made it clear. This injury didn't just cause physical pain, it derailed a promising career that had already seen Isaac winning competitive gaming tournaments. While the city will likely fight this verdict through appeals, the message from the jury is loud and clear. For too long, the use of so-called less lethal weapons has been a point of contention, with the Lapt frequently under fire for their crowd control tactics. Even with court-ordered injunctions and promises of internal investigations, the department continues to cycle through new methods of force, leaving civilians to pay the ultimate price. This verdict feels like a wake-up call, but we have to ask ourselves, how many more lives have to be shattered before the status quo actually changes? If you think this case shows that policy needs to be reformed, hit that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Does a multi-million-dollar payout actually lead to accountability, or is it just the cost of doing business for the city? Thanks for watching, and remember to stay informed.